All right, picking up now with the melodic minor scale. So, since the step and a half that we were just talking about between the 6th scale degree and 7th scale degree of the harmonic minor scale is not particularly easy to sing for most singers, it can get a little awkward sometimes. It's usually avoided in most melodies. If you notice in 3 rounds in minor keys number 3, also known as Ah Poor Bird on page 132 in your book, it avoids the B flat note, which is the 6th scale degree of that D harmonic minor scale, right? Remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is B flat, and then the 7th degree was C sharp. So Ah Poor Bird, it avoids the B flat, aka the 6th scale degree, entirely. Another way, though, to avoid the kind of awkward step and a half, right? Those 3 half steps between 6 and 7, 1, 2, 2, 3, is to just raise the 6th scale degree as well, creating a form creating a scale called the melodic minor scale. So in other words, with the melodic minor scale, we're going to raise the 6th degree and the 7th degree. Okay? And in the case of D melodic minor, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because now it's raised, and then 7, 8. So we have for the melodic minor scale, at least the ascending form, which we'll talk about more in just a bit. Okay, let's move on to slide 14. Let's look at a melody now that uses the melodic minor scale. And so we'll look at Greensleeves, and it's on slide number 14. It's also in your book, page 250, if you really want to get into it. It's also on page 133 here in your book. So notice that, what's the tonic of this melody? What's the last note? What's the last pitch of this melody? Well, it's E, okay? And so this is actually in the key of E minor. Go ahead and now, and you can pause this video, listen to the recording of Greensleeves. You can find it, you can pull up the link here on slide number 14. And as you're listening to the recording, notice the accidentals, meaning the sharp signs, on the 6th and 7th scale degrees of the E minor, of the E melodic minor scale here. And in this case, the 6th scale degree is C sharp, right? Here's my E, well, let's first stop. Here's the E natural minor scale. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So with this scale, though, the melodic minor scale that this is based on, we have to raise 6 and 7 from C to C sharp and from D to D sharp. So we get E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. And notice in this song we see a lot of C sharps and D sharps instead of C naturals and just regular D naturals. Then let's move on to the next slide, 15. Here is a list of pitches for Greensleeves and the E melodic minor scale on which Greensleeves is built. So notice the list of pitches. What do we have here? We have E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D natural, and also D sharp. Okay, so Greensleeves actually uses regular D natural and also D sharp. Okay, and then notice the the melodic minor scale here that's on slide number 15 that corresponds to Greensleeves. And it's the one I actually just played in the last slide, maybe a minute ago. So we have what? E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, and then they throw in a D natural at the end there. So that's the list of pitches for Greensleeves and also the E melodic minor scale on which it's based. See if you can play those yourself, if you have a keyboard available. Then let's move on to slide number 16. Notice a couple things here in Greensleeves. Notice first off that the sixth scale degree, right, in this case C, is always raised to C sharp. Okay, so if you go through the melody of Greensleeves, you won't find any regular Cs. You'll only find, as far as the sixth scale degree, C sharps. Also notice that the seventh scale degree appears in its natural form, meaning regular D, just the white key D, D natural here, in measures 2, 3, 4, and other places. But we see it in its raised form, meaning D sharp, right, in measures 7 and 15. And if you want to look closely here, if that's a little complicated, here's measure 7, and here's the sixth scale degree, right, the C sharp, okay? So it's raised here, here's measure 15, it's also raised right there. So just take note of that. And so why is that sixth scale degree raised in measure 7 and 15? Well, because it's used to avoid that kind of awkward step and a half. If we play measure 15 or 7 or 15, they're the same. It'll sound like this. And okay. We play 8 also. Now, if I took that sixth scale degree and I played it as C natural, here's what it would sound like. Sorry, right there. So it's a little awkward sounding, right? So to avoid that kind of awkward sound, we get the raised sixth scale degree, C sharp, D sharp, E. Okay? All right, let's move on now to slide number 17. Let's talk a little bit more now about the melodic minor scale in general. So the melodic minor scale is usually written in both ascending form and descending form. And it's because the ascending form is different than the descending form. So the ascending form is what we've been doing, what we talked about so far, where we take the sixth and seventh scale degrees and we raise them, right? Now, with melodic minor, though, the descending form's a little different. With the descending form, we revert back to the natural minor way of playing it. So let's take the A melodic minor scale. So remember that, okay, so on the way up, on the ascending form, we're going to raise the sixth and seventh degrees, right? So with our A scale here, what are the sixth and seventh degrees? Well, they are F and G. And so in melodic minor, we're going to raise F to F sharp and G to G sharp, right? Because those are 6 and 7. So that's going to sound like this, right? And on the descending, on the descent of the scale, we're going to just play those 6th and 7th scale degrees as regular G, right? G natural and F natural. So if I kind of sing the scale degrees, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 raised, 7 raised, 8, and then back down, 8 back, or 7 back to where it was, 6 back to where it was, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 don't change, right? So again, so that's an A melodic minor scale. See if you can play one now. You can pause this video, see if you can play an A melodic minor scale. All right, moving on to slide 18. So why do we even have this scale? Well, this melodic minor scale, I mean, so this scale indicates the common tendency in minor, in melodies and pieces of music that are in minor keys to raise the 6th degree and the 7th scale degree when they move upward toward the tonic, right? Remember the tonic, it's either the 1st scale degree or the 8th scale degree, right? And that happens in Greensleeves, right? If we look at measure 7, we have, here's 7, 6, 7. We move up toward the tonic, which is E in Greensleeves. Remember, E, Greensleeves is in E minor, so the tonic's in E. The scale, we also, the melodic minor scale also indicates the natural form that is tended to be used when the 6th and 7th scale degrees move downward toward the dominant, or the 5th scale degree. Okay, so that's why we have the melodic minor scale. Okay, moving on to slide number 19. So, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the minor scale is a little more complex than the major scale. Remember, for the major scale, we didn't have 3 different versions of it. We just had one. But now, with minor, we kind of have this family of scales, right? So we have natural minor, like we talked about earlier. Let's just take the key of A minor, right? So we have our natural minor scale, right, with half steps between scale degrees 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. Then we have our harmonic minor scale, in which we have half steps between 2 and 3, 5 and 6, and 7 and 8, and also we have that kind of step and a half between 6 and 7. And remember that one, we can think of the harmonic minor scale as kind of just like the natural minor scale, but we raise the 7th degree on the way up and down, by the way. 7, right? So for harmonic minor, we don't lower the 7th degree on the way down. That's only for melodic minor. Then for melodic minor, remember this is the one, we can think of it kind of like the natural minor scale, except we raise the 6th degree and the 7th degree on the way up, but then we put them back to their natural minor form on the way down, right? So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, raise 6, raise 7, 8, and then back to normal 7, natural 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and that's melodic minor.